Hello, Julien. Bouteloup?
Hey,
Am I saying
yeah.
that correctly? Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I will turn the floor over to you. Thank you so much.
Wait. Before,
Yeah.
is it like a panel or something, or should I? I'm not sure what's the what should be. I don't have a presentation, so I was actually expecting someone that we exchange.
Oh, no, this I was not prepared for that. So it was supposed to be 30 minutes of the floor for you. If you have any topics that you'd like to cover, I'd be happy to go back and forth. But I also
Well,
was not.
actually, yeah. Actually, for me, it's easier if there's like someone that we can exchange. I think that the floor is about rug pulling and the risk of DeFi. I can basically talk about random things, but I don't. I would rather prefer someone that we can either have questions and have
Sure.
interaction. It will be easier than just me rambling around.
Sure, no problem. I've got plenty of questions about risks of DeFi, especially rug pulls and hacks. I mean, if we want to discuss, there's plenty of them. Obviously, um, one of them that is hot right now is what happened with Roll and their hot wallets. Do you have any? Do you know which event I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I know which event you're talking about because I was actually also affected by this shit show.
And would you
Um,
like to speak to that as kind of our opener, and then we can go from there?
yeah, sure. Let me try to actually. I'm trying to get my phone running out of battery. Um, yeah, actually, this hack is actually really interesting in a sense that compared to other hacks, Roll, which is basically a platform where you can issue social token. So social token in the sense that any people on Earth, for example, like people with um, like Instagram or any people can actually issue a social token, and this social token represent anything that they are dreaming about. So they could actually do, like for example, the Julien token. When I issued the Julien token, was giving access to free audits around Solidity, free smart contracts audits, but also like C++, Python, like any like some programming languages, and also like anything about crypto economics, and also some investment due diligence, for example. Um, so it's actually a massive project. If you think about the potential of having social tokens, it's huge in society. But the thing is, like how they handle it is they have a multi-sig wallet that is in control of the social of all the different social tokens that are being that in the future will be issued to the market. And so, for example, as a social token holder, when you go to the platform and you mint your token, you only have access to 10 or 20% of the entire supply of your token, and Roll keep the rest and issue those tokens on a vesting period. So maybe like 6 months or like every trimester they issue those tokens. Well, here the issue is apparently someone, I don't know much because they're keeping information on their side. Someone apparently had either access to the multisig or was able to trigger the rug pull from internal action of the rolled company. So this is not really a DeFi hack. This is more like a traditional financial exploit. Yeah, but this is affecting. The hack happened on liquidity provider token, so people that provide liquidity on Uniswap. So this they actually lost those tokens. Apparently, Roll will reimburse those people, not reimburse, but will actually find an incentive mechanism to actually cover the loss.
So, yeah, that is one of the things that I've heard from a lot of the people affected, that it's just been so traumatic, and it's been so hard for them to kind of figure out how to support their community through this time. Do you have any info for like how people are going to recover? I see some people kind of moving towards a second coin. Some people are trying to hold their own coin. Do you have any advice on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, regarding the Julien token, that's what I've done in the past. But basically, I will make sure that those people aren't affected too much, and actually, this kind of situation will provide them a bigger hedge. So they probably lost some capital, but I will make sure that in the coming weeks, this capital those funds that were lost will represent in the near future just a small yeah, they will actually receive more. So this will actually be a better position for them.
And for Rekt newsletter, how do you stay on top of all of the news that it's happening and understand it so deep?
Yeah, Rekt.News. I'm not sure if you guys know Rekt.News. So REKT.news. It's basically, it's not really a media company. It's more like a tech, really deep in tech. So we provide instant coverage for all the major exploits that are happening in this ecosystem. And the reason why we are able to do so is because we have builders, auditors, and people that understand the underlying technology, the crypto economics, and we basically have an OPSEC team. So whatever we monitor on the network that is actually something that appear to be suspicious, then we trigger this team that will contact the protocol, we reach out to the protocol, and then ask them questions. And also, most of the time, we help those protocol to mitigate the exploit. So we either do counter attack. So we've done this in the past with some big names in the industry. But basically, because we have access to a different infrastructure, we also understand. So basically, there's a speed of understanding the hack and seeing what the hacker is trying to do. So that we can either front run the hacker or we can block him from withdrawing too much fund. For example, if there is a lock time in place, 8 hours and all the different things, so this is actually something that we can allow. But in Rekt, we also focus on high premium content. So the way that we write those articles are really good English level that are written by some very nice, very strong, especially one person, also very strong in English. So we don't chill. We don't allow people to advertise their project on the platform. It's very independent. It's very underground, kind of dark side of news. So that's why. And whatever happened on the ecosystem, we receive some threats from people they ask to not be listed in Rekt. Well, actually, from us, if we receive those threats, it's actually a good reason for us to cover these specific exploits.
And is there a pattern for exploits? Do we see the same exploit happening time and time again, or are things unique?
Yeah, you got potentially probably 3 or 4 different patterns. You got pattern where the easiest one is a bug inside the contract. So a bug meaning that is the easiest way that you can. Usually bugs are found in project that didn't spend much time trying to find audits and trying to be 100% secure. They probably a project that got a bug inside is probably a project that focused mostly on glory over security, because those bugs, if they reuse contracts, this shouldn't happen. But then we have bugs, not actually bugs, but I call them arbitrage. People, they like to call it exploits. It's basically they like to call it manipulation, but it's basically cryptonomics. It's being able to a legal. So DeFi legal, if you play in one side of the protocol, then you might affect another protocol, and then using that specific action of that protocol that will change an oracle, that will change the oracle, then you will be able to price a token in such a certain way that you can actually use it to mint more tokens, or to just rug pull a protocol that didn't actually think about making a protection against oracle manipulation. And then you have another pattern that came up like recently, a few months ago, which is basically being able to fake the specific project by either whitelisting a specific action, or basically saying, like, for example, like Pickle, the Pickle hack, you add jar inside, the hacker made a fake jar and then present this fake jar to Pickle, and then Pickle was thought that was actually a real jar, and then inside this jar they use it. It's like a Trojan, you know, this kind of like which is fascinating. Yeah.
Just like with Alohomora, they tricked it into casting a bad spell.
Sorry, say
Right?
again.
Alohomora.
Yeah, Amora. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That was actually the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Rather than a pickle jar, they changed the spell.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how much of the hacks do hackers actually get out of the protocol, and how much of it is just kind of like lost? Is it very
What do you mean?
profitable to
To hack
yeah?
protocols?
Are they getting away
Well,
with all this money, or is it parked in places that they can't use?
I think you got people that are good at hacking, but not good at making sure the money is clean. I would say that. I think it's always it's sort of. I mean, if you check Rekt.News, you would see all those different projects that got hacked, wrecked. That's what we say. But I would say that most of them, they got arbitraged rather than really wrecked, in the sense that there was a bug inside the protocol. It's just because they built the protocol in such a way that they didn't actually think outside the box, and they built it like really quick. But my point is, people might say that DeFi is dangerous and or whatever, and those hacks, they should, like, for example, Flash Loan. Flash Loan was a terrible product, and Flash Loan is dangerous and is evil. It's actually the opposite. Without Flash Loan, you won't have DeFi, and the only way that you can secure this space is by having more Flash Loans, because then you incentivize people to build solid tech. The reason why the bank is safe is because you had people trying to break into the bank before. You have robbers. Otherwise, the bank won't be safe and you will lose your money. So DeFi, the only way you can actually secure DeFi is by having more people trying to hack it, and then running more arbitrage market maker. The reason why you have DeFi also is because you have people, actors, that spend a lot of money in DevOps, a lot of money in AWS, spending a lot of money to, for example, doing arbitrage and or liquidation, making sure you get liquidity on time. And people might say liquidators are bad, but it's actually without them, you won't be able to lend some capital and borrow capital on the market. For example, if you don't have liquidators, people, they couldn't lend or be fully bullish on ETH, lend those ETH on Aave, and then borrow against, and then invest in Curve or invest in StakeDAO. So my point is, like, all those different actors, either the people that are doing really strong arbitrage because of cryptonomics, or because they are market maker, or because they are liquidators, or because they actually know very well how to use the flash loans, they all the same. They make sure the protocol is running safely.
Great, thank you. And so one of the hard parts, and that you've mentioned repeatedly, is security audits. So obviously static analysis is subpar, and a lot of these companies have security audits in place. And so how do we, like, what's some of the ways that we can improve our audits so that we think outside of the box, like the hacker will?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, because I think Rekt, they just released something called leaderboard. Can I actually share my screen here?
Yeah, the
Can
bottom
I
left.
share my screen or not?
Yeah, you should be able
I
to. The
can.
bottom left, there should be a monitor looking thing.
No, there's nothing I can. No, I cannot. Well, that's fine. Maybe you can do it yourself. If you go to Rekt.News.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. Well, in meantime, yeah, if you can have the page Rekt.News, and then you go to leaderboard, what we have over there, we have all the auditing companies that audit the project, and those projects are, yeah. So if you go to leaderboard on the top right hand side,
Let me find it 1 second. Yeah,
on the
leaderboard.
top, yeah, exactly this one. Yeah, unselect the content because this is being selected. If you click just, yeah, exactly. So you see, if you zoom in for so people can actually see what's going on. But you see, like all those different hacks, they have now a auditing company attached to it. So, for example, you can see that KuCoin was internal audit, Alpha Finance was Crondstamp and PigChild, and you can see like some names that are being repeated across different protocols that got hacked. My point, and what we want to say, and that's why we add this description at the bottom, it's not because the company was audited that the company is completely safe. And also a company that, a good company, for example, like Quantum or Turtle Bits, they probably like did a good job, but maybe the company or the protocol doesn't actually know how to use the code. So sometimes it's not necessarily the fault of the auditing company, but you can actually see some names over there. And if you can see like some repetitive name, it's really clear that some of them are not very good at auditing actually.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I mean, Alpha Finance is what I was talking about with Alohomora. So yeah, these are big ones here. Here's roll. Okay. So
Yeah, and then
are
when
there,
you click on the hack, then you basically see very deep analysis, very deep technical understanding of whatever happened in this specific hack. Where role is a little bit different because role it's not kind of like on chain. It's probably like a multi-sig. Well, you can actually see like all the links to the different transactions, all the people that actually had access to those tokens. That's what we do. We provide like deep analysis from people that are running auditing firm or that are good in security.
yeah, and just for those that were unaware of the roll hack, a lot of those tokens, as you demonstrate here, lost 98% of their value.
Yeah,
So
they got completely wrecked.
and a lot of those people are creators in this space, and I know they took it personally hard, but I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that you mentioned that there's going to be some coverage from roll.
Yeah, exactly. I think I usually say that what doesn't kill you make you stronger, and this one is uh, if they don't sell the token, then I'm sure they will get more than before the hack. That's what the community should be, and that's what I'm myself engaged to do.
And I think one of the other big things to realize about that is a lot of the danger is kind of over, right? That hot wallets are all got dumped. Now, even like the roll community isn't holding that kind of, you know, there was obviously no time lock involved. So that was always kind of a long-term alignment with roll that they weren't going to dump on people. But now that's not like a looming question, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I agree with you. Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And, we've seen it even with the best of intentions. There have been some pain, which is just kind of learning. What about some of the acts that have not been learning pains? So specifically, your talk
Chili,
title
running the Jitsi rooms.
was about rug pulls.
Say again because I think we got cut.
Yeah, sorry. So one of the things for your talk, the title is DeFi rug pulls.
Yeah.
So obviously a rug pull is going to be a lot more intentional than an exploit in the code. Are there any specific rug pulls that you wanted to mention during your time?
I seen the one from if you check the latest article from Rekt, if you open it, the page, I think there was one Reef versus Alameda, which is basically SBF. I think this one is actually a really nice rug pull because it's a deal on traditional finance between two different companies for some agreements, but apparently Alameda, which is run by SBF, said that the deal wasn't just based on trust. So they received 20 million worth of tokens for doing some listing on FTX and doing some other things for Reef. But apparently, Alameda took those tokens and immediately dumped them on Binance. So I think this one is an interesting rug pull. It's another level of rug pull because it's intersection between traditional finance and decentralized finance. It's a traditional company, a quantitative hedging trading firm run by SBF that made a deal with Reef company, and then they got rug pull. Is Alameda the action where okay? I'm not sure. Is Reef lying? I'm not sure. But what's interesting is actually this kind of behavior that we should probably, basically, if you do things on smart contracts, it's more secure than if you do them on traditional finance, except if those smart contracts have exploits inside. But whatever happened in this latest article is basically truly showing that whatever is made in traditional finance, you shouldn't trust, and you should always verify.
That's very, very key. Trust. Don't trust. Verify. Do your own research always.
But the biggest rule pull that you can find on Rekt is the Fed, like pulling millions of people. Yeah, and we have this article over there. It's like printing cash, printing trillions and selling those trillions to nation states worldwide and to people, and people believe this is actually real value. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. The Fed is definitely pulling a rug pull over everyone over the past year and a half.
I think we call it the $3 trillion rug pull.
Well,
it's not bad. It's actually it should be actually. I think Rekt should put the Fed on the top of the leaderboard because $3 trillion is pretty high.
Definitely, yeah. It's pretty much like EMN on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we have our next speaker here. Thank you so much, Julien, for your time and your insight. And I also just want to mention
for having me.
Yeah, I want to mention one other rug pool. Did you see the NFT rug pool?
Oh, we cover Rekt cover an NFT rug pool. That was like a few weeks.
The art one where the artists switched all the pictures to rugs after the auction.
All the pictures. Oh, that's fantastic. So basically, you buy an NFT, and as soon as you receive the NFT, it's changed to a rug pool. Oh, that's beautiful.
No, it changed to a rug, like literally like a woven.
It's changed to a rug. Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
Yeah,
I love it. People, I mean, people should be actually. It's kind of like buying a Banksy, and then seeing the painting disappearing. It's fantastic. Exactly. I think it's a piece of art. They should actually be happy and enjoying their time. They got rug pulled by an NFT that's disappeared.
Yeah. That also goes on-chain data. But thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.